Hey everybody, this is Dear Old Dad and Sons Gaming, and this is the breakdown for the Monstrous Maestro build. Infinite Bone Shaker build, if you want to call it that. The piece that we're starting off with is giving us the Infinite Bone Shaker is going to be World Breaker Alloy. First two perks are fine, especially the first one with the 100% chance on gamma kills to give us a heroic burst. That's going to be an important piece, but the most important piece is the lethal nimble overdrive. That's where we get an infinite bone shaker from. Defeating enemies or perfect evading is going to give us bone shaker for a brief duration, but it's for more than just a couple of seconds. But there's more that ties into it. Let's go into this beginning part of it. This is the most important piece to have. This gives us bone shaker on perfect evades and when we defeat enemies with rage attacks. All right, the second piece is going to be right here, the Monstrous Neuronics. This is giving us 20% increased damage while Bone Shaker is active. This is why we're doing so much damage. If you watch the video, we got this 20% bonus all the time. The 25% increased damage to normal rock damage is okay. We're not really taking advantage of that, but we are taking advantage of Stranglehold Assistance. We've got an extra Stranglehold charge. So that gives us three Stranglehold charges, and I'll show you why that's important when we get to the skills. Ranged here, this is just a stat stick, something that has some stats that are helping me out. The Valor helps me out. And of course, no no real disadvantage of having the gamma effect on these gears to help me with that. Gamma kills are going to feed back into the 100% chance to get heroic energy when I defeat an enemy with gamma. Here, as we can see, it says increased critical attack with enemies held with held enemies as weapons. Not really taking advantage of that. Power attacks doing particle damage. We're not really paying attention to that. The stats again, and of course, the last stat increased damage of all combo finishers by 40%. This is also causing big damage. All right, over here, again, simply a stat stick. This is giving me extra might and valor. We're really not getting any benefit from range attack vibranium or the decreased uh, status effect damage decrease for that. We're only really affecting with gamma if we have effect at all. Another minor artifact is just something speeds of heroic, gives extra stun, but again, it's a stat piece. It gives me the double valor. I have the Norn Stone of Lethal Will, but I'm probably not going to stay with this because I don't have a damage boost that I'm doing. So I will probably switch this out with the Ring of Nibelung will be good, or even the Tacticon will be good. Let's take a look at the skills we have to finish up how this all fits together. All right, if you remember, our defense piece gives us Bone Shaker for a short duration, defeating enemies with rage attacks or perfect evading. But that also feeds into this. Defeat 5 enemies while Bone Shaker is active and you'll extend it by 5 seconds. So I can extend Bone Shaker by defeating 5 enemies. It doesn't say Bone Shaker if activated from the heroic attack. It's just having Bone Shaker and defeating 5 enemies will extend the time. This is why I think the video you saw times when you didn't see Bone Shaker on the screen, but I had Bone Shaker, and there are times you saw Bone Shaker and I didn't have activated heroically. So it's getting extended, and I've constantly got it up. Here again, defeating enemies taunted by Bone Shaker causes Dracro orbs. That helps out with recharging the rest of our abilities, especially Stranglehold and our Thunderclap. And Bone Shaker, like I said, is the least of our worries. We got it from a gear perk, and we can also activate it heroically, so we can always have our Bone Shaker up. Here with our Stranglehold, now remember, we've got 3 charges of this. Irradiated Destruction is going to be probably the best one to go with because not only is it giving you the field of damage to tick damage. It's gamma. So, of course, when they get affected by gamma and you defeat them, that's going to give you your guaranteed heroic charge. And you've got 3 charges thanks to having the double strangle, giving you extra charge on top of the gear I have, giving me extra charge. This is another important piece, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Stranglehold, taunts nearby enemies, that's not the biggest part of it, but instantly overcharges intrinsic rage ability. This is why it's important because, again, back on our defensive piece, it says rage attacks will cause us to have Bone Shaker. Well, this gives us automatic rage attacks. When the Hulk is overcharged, all of his attacks are automatic rage attacks. So you don't have to hold the rage button down. All you have to do is simply attack. And this is going to give us Bone Shaker. So it just feeds right back into it. We have Bone Shaker all the time. And this is a big part of it right here. Our Thunderclap, I'm going with Fault Line. It's the greatest damage on top of the boost we're getting from having 20% increased damage from Bone Shaker and the increased damage we're getting from being overcharged. It's all playing in. And when you Thunderclap, you're doing lots and lots of damage. And of course, those enemies that are defeated by the Thunderclap have a 50% chance to drop heroic orbs. So again, that feeds back, that gets us to have our Thunderclap quicker, our Stranglehold quicker, our Bone Shaker, if we have to activate it heroically, we feed right into that. For the mastery, these are not important. Again, still not really using these. But of course, if we get a takedown, we want it to give us a heroic orb. Again, that keeps our abilities up and keeps them going. Rock damage, range damage, nothing really important here. We're not even using it. Here, increased charge rate of heroic while rage is active. Stranglehold automatically gives us the rage ability. So when we're overcharged or rage is there, we're going to recharge our abilities faster. Okay, we're going to increase the damage of all attacks by 50% while rage is active. Again, that feeds back into being overcharged. That's automatic rage. That's 15% increase. And for the last part, maximum amount of intrinsic rage. I picked this one. There's a reason I picked it, and I'll come back around to it in just a second. Our overcharge. Increase the critical attack chance by 50% while overcharged. We're going to be overcharged all the time. We've got 3 strangleholds. We've got our heroic energy coming back. We're going to be having an increased crit chance all the time. Increase the damage of all attacks with 20% while overcharged. So this is more and more damage we're stacking on. We're overcharged. And remember that our stranglehold ability is giving us the overcharge every time. And we got 3 of them. And to make it all stick together, in our last perk, we have Temper. Reduces the rate in which overcharge energy depletes, allowing you to stay overcharged longer. So we've got 3 charges of Stranglehold. We're staying overcharged longer. We're doing the increased damage while we're overcharged. Our heroics are regenerating. Our orbs are dropping. And we're doing massive damage because of the perks we have from our gear, our perks from our rage. It's a lot of damage going in. It's really, really fun. It's the most fun I've had. I did not expect this build to yield the damage that it did. If you've seen my other showcase videos of my builds, I've usually taken 7 or 8 minutes to go through it. This one, that I only did it in about 4 minutes. So lots of damage, lots of high-end damage. He stays consistently raged. He stays consistently in Bone Shaker. You're doing the consistent damage because of all of those bonuses. So really fun build. I really enjoy doing this here. Stay tuned. I've got some more builds I'm working on, but here again, the Monstrous Neuronics, the World Breaker Alloy. These other 2, you can put in whatever you really want to put in. If you've got something better, perhaps you'll put in something that gives you a damage buff and you can go along with Norn Stone. Or you can have yourself something that causes the battery damage that goes along with Gamma. I do have Particle, which does go along with it, but the damage I was putting out was so high that I didn't even get a chance to use this stuff. Perhaps I need to do it against larger enemies and see how it works out. I may put out a video showcasing this against the larger enemies, but this is it. You can find this piece from, I do believe it comes from the priority missions. There's an older piece that I have, but it doesn't have the bone checker perk. So if you got this piece and you say, wait a minute, I don't see that perk on there, go back and farm again. The new piece of this Worldbreaker alloy comes with this lethal nimble overdrive. And this is, I said, this is again where we're getting all of our benefits from. And then secondly, Monstrous Neuronics is giving us a 20% increase in damage while Bone Check is active. So we're constantly doing 20% damage. And like I said, I just have this on here just to have it, but I can take this off and I can put on the Ring of Nibelung and come out just as good. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Keep on looking. Like I said, I've got other builds I'm working on, and we'll see you the next time. Bye bye.